Alright, hi everybody. Thanks so much for clicking on my video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how I made this blue kind of ocean effect rectangular tray. This is just the first coat that I'm doing, and then I'll go ahead and clear cap it and put some handles on it later on today. But I'm going to be using alumilite resin, which is a two-part mixing system, and it's the clear casting, and I'm just showing you right now the color paint that I used. So I used apple barrel color in Acapulco, and then I used a shimmer sky blue, I used an opaque white and silver flakes, and then I created my own navy blue color mixing blue, black, and orange. So I just went ahead and separated my colors into little mixing cups, and I already pre-mixed my resin, so now I'm just divvying it up into the cups, making sure that I have enough in each cup, but also leaving enough clear in my big mixing cup, which is just a big plastic measuring cup. I'm just leaving some extra in there just so that I can top it off and add some more if I need to mix up any more colors. So right now you can see I'm just pouring the resin into the cups, and whenever I'm working on a large item, I put the cups that I'm mixing in down into the mold. That way I'm not wasting any resin on my surface. It all just falls into the mold. And speaking of surface, I'm using parchment paper to protect my work desk, just to make sure that if anything were to spill, I would be able to just peel that parchment paper right up and my desk will be safe. Right now you can see I'm mixing up that navy blue. I put a little bit of blue pigment powder in there with a drop of black and orange paint, but it was just a little bit too dark, so I added some more blue to give it a nice deep navy blue kind of color. Now I'm mixing up the shimmer blue sky color that I got. This color from Target, I believe. I think it was maybe $3 or so. So I'm just mixing that up now. Alright, and now I'm going in with my popsicle sticks, and I'm mixing up the color Acapulco. I really hope I'm saying that right. Some things are a bit of a tongue twister. And I did have original audio for this video, but right now I'm doing a voiceover, as you guys can tell. But I'm doing the voiceover because my audio did not sound that good. So hopefully this voiceover sounds a whole lot better. Alright, so I got my Acapulco mixed up. Now I'm mixing up my white, and for the white I used some pearlescent white mica pigment powder with some white paint by Apple Barrel, and also just one dot of alcohol ink, just so that I could still have that kind of pearly effect of the mica, but I also wanted the white to be very prominent. And in the silver, I'm not sure if I've shown that part yet, but in the silver flakes, I just went ahead and added some fine holographic and iridescent glitter. I added some fine ones, and then I added some that were just a little bit bigger. Yep, there's the alcohol ink. I'm adding that in now. I got the alcohol ink in a pack from Amazon. It was a pack of maybe 15 different colors, 12 or 15 different colors, and I think I paid about $17 for them. I like them. They're nice quality. No complaints yet. Sorry if you guys hear me sniffling too, by the way. My allergies are kicking my butt right now. Now I'm just moving some of the stuff out of the way so I can move the paint cups so you guys can see the tray a little bit better to see exactly what I'm doing. like I said, I made a flower tray that I made with pink and rose gold colors yesterday. So I'm going to put some pictures of that up at the end, and a little my TikTok that I uploaded of that. I'll also put that at the end so you guys can see. But now I'm just going in with the color Acapulco and just spreading that. And there really is no pattern that I like to follow when I'm making these trays. I kind of just go with the flow and do whatever I feel looks right. But there's really no pattern. I just kind of let it do what it wants. Resin is a very flowy substance, so you can put it down like as precise as you want it to, but it's always going to move a little bit. So I like to give it some space to wiggle around, so I leave a little bit of gap in between the colors so that they can blend together naturally. So I took the shimmery blue and I put that right up against the Acapulco. Now I'm taking that navy and I'm just outlining the two of those colors just so I can break up that bright blue and that kind of ocean blue and give it a bit of a darker feel. I actually had to Google how to mix the color navy because I don't have any navy pigment powder or navy paint, and I had no idea how to make it. I ended up making it a few months ago to make a necklace for my mom, and ever since then it's now become my most used color. Okay, now I'm taking the silver flakes and I'm just putting it down in kind of like a sideways V. And I'm picking up these silver flakes that spilled onto the tray and I'm just blending those in as well, just so that nothing goes to waste. And whenever I get a big chunk of the flakes, I just kind of use my popsicle stick to spread them out a little bit more so that it's not super chunky in one section. But now I'm just popping that silver in wherever I see fit, and I always leave a bit of resin left over in my big mixing cup whenever I'm using the mix, just in case the flakes get a little muddled. You can just pop the clear in on top of where you already laid the flakes and it'll help to bring them back up to the surface. Now I'm just laying down that white, and I love the way that this white and navy blue mixed in with the silver. It's a very pretty effect. I might just do a tray with just those three colors because I love how it looks so much. Now I'm just gonna thicken up the line of navy just to make sure it can really be seen, because I have a blow dryer that I'm going to use just to mix the colors together. I had a heat gun, but it broke, and so for now I'm just using my old blow dryer that I don't use for my hair anymore, just to make sure that the colors are nice and mixed until my heat gun arrives next Tuesday. Again, I'm going in with that shimmery blue color. So pretty. Now, when you're working with resin and acrylic paint, which is what I'm using here, I recommend you only use a little bit, just enough to cover the very end of your popsicle stick. And you want to make sure that you mix it in really well, because you're not really supposed to use acrylic paint. You can, but it kind of gives it a wonky effect if you don't do it right, because the resin will dry but the paint will still be wet and it'll create a bunch of air bubbles in your art. And if you like that look, that's perfect for you, but if you don't like that look, or if that's not the look you're going for a particular item you're creating, then you want to be very careful with it. So when you're mixing it, you just want to make sure that you're only using a small amount, and you scrape the bottoms and the sides to make sure you're mixing all that paint really well. Now I'm just going in with the white, and I'm kind of outlining where I put the silver and the navy blue a little bit, and you can kind of see that the left side of the tray is looking a little full now, so now I'm going to focus a little bit more on the right side and just do some fine details and whatnots on the right side. My camera died at that point, so that's what that little flash was. That was me letting the battery charge up a little bit and switching over to my phone to record the rest of the video. So the rest of this video is being recorded on my phone while my camera charges up. Might have to get a new battery pack for it because I had charged it up before I recorded this video for like a full 10 hours, but the battery still died. It has a battery, but I can also charge it like with a wall charger, so might have to take that to the store to get looked at. So bear with me if the videos look a little wonky. They will be recorded on my phone. Now my favorite thing to do when I'm using trays with lots of colors is just to break up the color. I just put like bits of clear so that it's a lot of pretty colors all swirled together, but then it's just like transparent and you can see clear through the tray or clear through whatever you're making. That's also why I love to use the flakes. I have gold flakes, silver flakes, and rose gold ones. And I love to do those because you can see the silver shows through very pretty, but then there's also that transparent factor that just adds an element that's just absolutely amazing. So now I'm just going back in with that white, and I'm using the popsicle stick to guide it. That way I can be a little bit more precise with my placement. But once I get, for the most part, the colors laid down where I want to, then I just go ahead and I start pouring it with the cup. And I just swipe along the edge of the cup just to pick up the excess resin, so that I'm not spreading anything into spots where I don't want that color. Alright, you can see that I'm putting the final touches with the resin down, just scraping what's left. Now I'm giving you a up-close view of it from the top so that you can see, just showing you all the bubbles that are in it. I'm going to use the blow dryer in a moment to pop all the bubbles, but I just wanted you guys to get an up-close view of it first. Now I put you up on my desk so that you can see me pop the bubbles with the blow dryer. I'm using the blow dryer on hot on a low setting just to blend the colors all together and pop the bubbles a little bit. And you can see it gives it this very pretty marbled effect where they get a little muddled, but like in the most perfect ways. And then I'm going to go back in with a lighter just to pop all the bubbles on the parts where the silver flakes are, just to make sure that it's absolutely crystal clear. The best way I found to pop bubbles in resin is using a heat source, like a heat gun. You can use a lighter, but you want to be careful because you can burn your resin and it'll have a really funky smell, which resin isn't supposed to smell all that bad, but you're supposed to be wearing a respirator mask anyways. But just to be safe, I suggest only using a lighter when you absolutely have to. You can also use a mixture of rubbing alcohol mixed with water, and you can just gently spritz that on the top layer to pop the bubbles. But now I'm putting some gloves back on, and I'm gonna go back in with my clear and just put that where the silver flakes are, because they got a little buried under the color when I used the blow dryer. So I'm just going to put that clear on, and whenever you're using clear mixed around other colors, if you put the clear on top, the clear kind of creates a hole in the resin color so that whatever is underneath it shines through more. So that's a very helpful hint that I found out. So I'm just using this resin to make the silver flakes show up more. Sorry, my neighbors are outside honking, so I apologize if you can hear that. It's always right when you try and record a video that the whole neighborhood decides to just start doing absolute madness. Now I'm making this layer kind of thick because I honestly hadn't decided if I was going to put handles on it or not. So I was making it thick just in case, but I posted this on my Twitter and I asked if people would like handles on it, and the majority of people said yes. So I more than likely will be putting handles on this one. So I made it thick enough where if I didn't want to, I could just do a thin layer to coat it, but I also left space just in case I wanted to put the handles on there so that they could be secure. So again, like I said, I'm just going in with a lighter to pop all the bubbles in the silver flaked portions of this tray, just to make sure that it's absolutely clear, which is another reason why I love alumilite's resin. It is a clear casting one, so there will be a few bubbles, but they usually pop on their own. And it tends to be very, very clear, and it gives a nice crystal ball effect is the best way to describe it. Unlike some other resins where they get a little cloudy and you have to really stay on top of it to pop bubbles. You'll pop bubbles once, but then the bubbles rise again every 10 to 15 minutes for the first half an hour. So you'll have to do it maybe 2, maybe 3 times just to make sure that all the bubbles pop out. But with alumilite, you really only have to do it once, but I'm a perfectionist, so I just go over it twice just to be safe, because you can never be too careful. Now I'm just going back in with the navy just to brighten up some of those lines that got a little lost. So I'm going in with the navy, and then I'll go back in with the white and some of the blue as well, just to really make sure that these colors are showing up the way that I want them to. And I'm making sure I get every last bit of resin out of the cup. Now I'm giving you guys an up close and personal view of the tray. So you guys can see this beautiful masterpiece that we created. And that's that. Alright, that's the end of the blue tray. Here's a look at the pink one I mentioned earlier in the video. I want to thank you guys so much for sitting through this one with me. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to wear your mask, and I'll see you all in 2021. Bye!